How you guys doing? This is Andrew at Flory PB, and in front of me I have something pretty special. This is a toxic matrix. Looks like a toxic matrix to everyone else. Apparently, this has never been shot. So that's what's special about this. This marker's never been aired up. It's never been fired. We'll go through it in a little bit more depth about everything on it because clearly there's some weird things on it. Feed neck being some kind of low rise or no rider CCM style feed neck, the hybrid grip, stuff like that. But we'll just get into this. It's in fantastic condition. Couple scuffs through time, but it's supposed to be a factory, or supposed to be a matrix that was, as the story I got when I got this a long time ago. The man that was machining the matrices for Jenny at the time and doing the team guns and all that stuff right in the beginning, he built this out of parts that he had available or something in the area, and leads me to believe that maybe this might have been a blemish body, which clearly, first off, this is a CNC machine one. It's not the EDM machine ones, the wire EDM machine. You can see, if you look really tight, you can see a little bit of the mill marks from a ball nose end mill. There's this, I don't know if every toxic matrix has this, honestly, but this one definitely has a machine line here, a tool mark there, that is also on the other side. So you can see where the ball nose end mill came in, moved, came out, came back in, went down, and went out, and it was just deeper than it probably should have been in those two spots. So maybe it was a blemish body or something that he built for whatever reason, but it sat around. It never got used, apparently. It has all toxic parts on it. Full disclosure, it didn't come in a reg. I found a toxic CP reg and just threw it on there. So this is a CP reg, but it was machined by Toxic, or it was machined as a toxic reg. The airport I put on there as well. That's obviously much later. But the rest of the parts are basically, Jenny style toxic matrix parts. This is a little weird. This is definitely a toxic matrix eye breach, but there's no jewel or toxic logo sitting on that. So that might have, it's also a matte finish where this marker is gloss. So that is interesting. It's definitely a lightweight setup, but it's a unique feature. It's a unique breach that isn't exactly the factory finish. There's some one-off stuff in this marker. There's some prototype, I guess, is the way to say it. Parts are pre-production part, because this isn't really a prototype. It's just a breach that didn't make it as the standard toxic breach that you see every day. Not every day, but this is the toxic breach you see. We'll break into that a little more too. I don't think anything's unoriginal there. So you have eyes, but I don't think they were ever drilled. This wasn't a drilled marker body for eyes, which is also, I think, kind of unusual for a toxic body. So you got the toxic branded volumizer plugs. They're not even volumizers, they're just plugs. And yeah, look at that. I don't know if you can see in there. But yeah, there's no holes for the eyes. Come off for me. Not special. Just a back cap. So one other thing that I know this marker has, which is just different This is a Gen E bolt kit. Nothing particularly crazy about that. Except, oh, fuck. Come on, baby. Love getting matrix bolts out. Come on. So here, if you're familiar with matrices, is weird where things get a little weird. That should be multiple pieces with a Jenny bolt kit. But the sleeve, I forget what that's actually called. I don't remember my matrix parts per se anymore at this point. Let me keep them assembled correctly so I know what I'm doing. But everything looks about the same. Like, it's the way it's supposed to be. It's a Gen E bolt kit, or an image bolt, I think they were called. Something like that. But this can is an integrated spacer piece, which this is incredibly unique. The only markers I remember this ever being on, like this, was the original, I think, Ironman team matrices, back when they had the team Ironman matrix, a couple ones that they made for the team. This is a pre-production, or just not the way they made these bolt kits. So that makes me think this is, some parts of the story at least are holding true a little bit, because that's very unique to have that feature in this thing, and makes it just interesting to me at least. But yeah, besides that, everything else looks pretty much like an image bolt, the way I would consider that kit to be, or just a Gen E matrix of that time period. That's clearly a different color anno. It's a pewter. But yeah, that's different. The other thing about it is, I mean, it was said to never be aired up, never be shot. And if you look at it, it is just perfect. Like, there is no wear on this section. This section goes through the breech. There is zero wear on that at all. There's some dust. That's why I'm cleaning everything off. But yeah, there is no wear. Nowhere on the tip. You have a little bit where they were annoing it. Yeah, everything about it is just. This is absolutely minty. Just minty fresh. See, these holes, that's a little weird too. That hole's actually drilled a little bit bigger. It's drilled out. It's actually piercing through the side a touch. They're very thin, so maybe this is a little bit tweaked. Then we look at every part that we can find. It's pretty safe to say this bolt kit, if it was ever used, wasn't used for a very long time. I mean, this is not how this looks. This back section gets wear. You get wear here. You get wear here. Especially if you use these. It's just so clean. Like, it's so minty fresh for a marker this old. This, you'll get wear on this, because this piece, there's no bumper. It actually, metal to metal connection hits that. So there's no bumper on that part, so it will get wear. And there's just none. Besides at the breech, there's zero wear in the breech, if you guys can see in there. There's just no wear at all. There's no wear in the threads from having barrels go in and out of it. These threads have no wear on it, so this breech hasn't come off very much. it's just so fresh looking. One thing that is weird, I gotta see if what that is. Definitely doesn't look like paint, but maybe on the camera it looks like paint. There's definitely something on the eye carrier, right where the bolts are supposed to be. But it looks like it might just be chalky, chalky grease. But it's not like that. It's cakey, but it's not like that paint cakey feel to it from old paint. And yeah, it just goes right away. Like, it's so clean. Alright, let's pull off the grips. Let me see what board's in it. I don't actually even know what board's in this thing right now. Another thing I noticed, and I don't know if other Toxics are like this. I've never been this intimate with a Toxic, but you have this little fade here where they didn't polish it all the way, like down in there, so it's like it has this little fade effect. Actually looks really cool in my opinion, but like I don't exactly know if that's the way they were supposed to be from the factory. So I mean, any help with that it'd be interesting to know if someone give me a little more of the history on this, but it's definitely appears to not be just the standard Toxic matrix or Toxic body matrix. And yeah, it's fully equipped out with all the little Toxic accessories. So my camera just kicked off. I just heard it's got a memory card full error, so I got some stuff on there. I guess that's why I've been my camera's just trying to shut off every couple minutes. So I popped in another memory card. Just some grip junk. Like, that's just set up so nicely. Let's pop a 9-volt in here. If this is just your honest matrix, and it's a pretty one. It's super clean. Come on. These are so stiff. Oh my god. Eyes are working. Awesome. Damn battery. It's just so stiff. The one wire is just trying to lay up underneath of me. There we go. Awesome, awesome. I just can't get over how tight this bolt kit is fit together. Like, that is unique. Matrix, well, most of the matrices I'm used to working on now, it's they've been well used. So, truth be told, I don't remember what a new matrix felt like, a brand new Gen E style matrix. Like, I don't remember how tight the tolerances were fit, or how tight it felt like from the factory at this point. But this one is super tight. Whew. Like, these are just built to a tolerance that was awesome. The eyes. Yep. Blink, blink, solid. Cool. This is a CP reg. Literally, it's just a CP reg. Let's see if I can pop it apart. If I can't. Nope. Not even gonna try. I don't think it was ever used. But it's just CP reg. It just looks awesome. So, probably my favorite aftermarket CP reg designs, because there's the Shock Tech one and there was this Toxic one. These are super unique in their own right. Like, you don't see those around too often. And yeah, I just think this one of the cooler looking aftermarket CP regs is just a cooler looking reg for this time period. Of course, the Toxic frames, like the mag switch adjustment, the mag tension is adjusted from underneath there. Got the big milled out grooves, just try to cut some weight on this hefty thing. The hybrid grips are pretty fitting for the time period. Not the factory ones, but I miss the hybrid grips. I thought they were like these kind of hybrid grips. These kind of hybrid grips. I kind of always like these. Like, I'm I guess partial to them, and they do feel nice. Like, they're hard, but they're grippy enough. And I guess with all the markers switching over to soft rubber, might be a little different feel than some of the new stuff. But I felt confident. I felt like these grips felt confident. They're not over the top. Put the Gen E barrel back on it. It's got a little scuff in it. This barrel, I added to it. I got this without a barrel at all. So I just want to put, a factory touch on that stuff. Factory Toxic CP reg, a barrel that would come with this. Feed neck, I have no qualms with a no-rise feed neck from that generation, or that time period. That's, what you would do anyway. The Toxic, or the hybrid grips, they feel damn good. Honestly, they feel really good on the marker. So I have no problems with those either. Let's do the final. we are going to do the final piece. We'll lay up. Don't try with just any scissors, guys, if you're ever stuck working on macro line. It should spin. Angle I can approach this at. Keep it tight. Hell yeah, I like that. Nice tight macro fit there. Yeah, and here's the point where I might disappoint you. I am not airing this up. I will let that be to whoever ends up wanting this and buying this to do. I have a couple other markers like this I want to start posting up and just start getting some history back out there. Obviously, there's some markers I want to keep in every genre I have, but something like this, you know, I don't have a room for a marker I'm never going to be able to shoot, and it doesn't belong. Now, whatever anyone wants to do, they want to shoot her, they want to put it and do something with it. It doesn't belong in my basement in a bin. So this is an awesome toxic. It's all functioning as far as you can see. It's all here, and I just ran through it all for you. And yeah, it's a great marker. It's an Andrew Flory PB. This one's a little different, and it's 2021. So have a good year, guys. That's it for this one.